2011 Toyota Sienna with a bad starter. I'm going to show you how quickly and easily we can change that out. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to change out your starter in a 2011 Toyota Sienna. Now, it's a pretty quick and easy job and you can do this yourself. Now, we do have a good battery and we do have good fuses and good relays, and I was able to get this started just by tapping on the body of the starter. What I did is I just grabbed a long breaker bar and I just put it right down through there. Now that may have rattled something loose or shook the brushes a little bit, and it was able to start one more time and get it home so we can change this out. Now, since I was able to get this to start by tapping it, I know that our fuses and relays are good, and chances are that just our starter itself is worn out. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where your car won't start or you're trying to turn the key and nothing happens, there's a few things you do want to check first. Number one, that your battery is charged or it's in good condition. And then you can either start down here at the starter, you can pull off the signal wire, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. And you can verify that you're getting power there with either a test light or a voltmeter. If you're getting power to the signal wire, then you can bypass all these relays and fuses. But if you do want to take a look at the relays and fuses, this one right here is your starter relay. Now, when you have somebody try to start the vehicle with your finger here, you should feel a little click, or you can also swap this out with a known good relay if you suspect that the starter is not getting power. We also have a starter number 2 fuse, this 7.5 amp fuse right down here. And then this one right here also has the starter fuse built in. It's one of these larger ones. So you just want to double check all that. You can kind of do a visual and inspect that nothing right there is burned. Now, if you do get lucky enough to where you can tap that starter and get it to start, that's a good thing, but that's probably not going to be a good long-term solution. I have heard of that happening where somebody tapped a starter and then it never gave them trouble again, at least for many years. I'm not really willing to risk it here, so let's go ahead and get started on taking out and replacing that starter. All right, the first thing we need to do is take off this little plastic air intake, and that's just held in place by these two 10mm bolts. I'm just going to take those out. All right, now we need to pull these vacuum hoses out of these little cradles right here. There's just these two here, and then this side, and then down below. And then those are loose enough to stay out of the way. And then we could just kind of lift this out. Comes out pretty easily. See, it does connect right here and right here. And there's a nice clear view of the starter. So we just have our main power wire here, our signal wire, and then there's two bolts that hold it in place, one right here and one right on the other side. Now, before I take out the starter, I'm going to take off the signal wire and verify that we are getting a signal sent down here. Just again, that's one way that you can verify that all of your fuses and relays are good. Just push in on the part that sticks out and then wiggle it off like so. Now, because we're taking the signal wire off, the vehicle won't start. So I'm going to put my test light here on battery ground, and I'm going to have somebody go ahead and crank it. So we know we're getting a nice strong signal sent down here to the starter. And of course, you can see we're also getting constant power there. So it definitely should have started or should be starting. And that tells us that all of our fuses and relays are good and our starter is bad. We're going to go ahead and take this one out and change it. So I've already got the signal wire off. All right, now before we disconnect our power wire here, we do need to come back up over here and we're going to disconnect the ground to our battery. It's very important that we take the ground off of the battery because otherwise you can arc that and blow some fuses. So just going to undo our battery. We'll tuck that down there where it cannot make contact with that battery terminal. All right, now I'm going to loosen and remove this nut here. You can see if you didn't have the battery connected and you touched your ratchet and grounded it right here, you could definitely spark that and maybe blow some fuses. Make sure you disconnect your battery. This is a 12mm socket that I'm using here. And I'm using the nut grip here so that we don't end up dropping that. We'll set that aside. All right, and then I'm using a 14mm deep socket here to take out this starter bolt here. And let's see if we can get on here with this extension. Now I'm just using a 6-inch extension here with a longer handled ratchet on this back one. They're in there pretty good. There we go. All right. There we go. There's the back bolt. And this wire, we'll just pull that off and tuck that over here. Now the starter should just come right out. Give it a little wiggle. And there it is. Now, a lot of people will recommend a Toyota or a Denso starter, and that's fine if you want to get that one. Now, in our case, we do need to get this vehicle back on the road, so we're just going to have to use what they have locally. Now, you can always bench test these yourself, but I like to bring them to O'Reilly Auto Parts because they'll test it for free, and they're going to put it on their machine and run it through a few different parameters, and it will test the different values and units, and it will let you know if it achieves a certain minimum or if it's within spec. Now, the old starter did pass as far as all of the minimums and the certain parameters tested by the machine at O'Reilly. Now, he did talk to the owner about this before purchasing the new starter, and he said to go ahead and buy the new starter. Now, one of the things that I don't always do, but it's probably not a bad idea, is to have O'Reilly or have the store test the remanufactured starter to make sure not only that everything works, but in this case, I wanted to compare those values for the remanufactured starter to the old starter that we took out, and in just about every category, they did a little bit better. I'll put those results up here on the screen for you so you can see that as well. Well, now we're back from O'Reilly, and we've got our new or remanufactured starter here, and all we need to do is just slide this in where the old one came out and just line up those holes there, and then I'm going to get this bolt in the front started. You want to start these by hand before you go zipping them on with an impact or anything. Now, the torque spec on the two starter bolts are 27 foot-pounds. All right, and then we can put that starter cable back on, the main cable right here, and we'll get that nut put back on. The torque setting on this nut is 87 inch-pounds. You can also just go by feel here. I'm just going to make that nice and snug without overdoing it. And I'm going to put this rubber boot back over it, just like that. And then we'll just plug in that signal wire. Just push that in until it clicks. All right, now we can reconnect the negative terminal of our battery. All right, now we can put this air intake back in place. So you just want to line these up right here and then press them on. Now these lines here, we're just going to press these back into those little clips that we're holding them in place. It's real easy to do. Just kind of line them up and give them a little push. Right here, and then there's two down below. Real easy to get to, real easy to line those up. Okay, and then we can put these two bolts back in that hold this little air intake in place. Let's just give it a try here real quick with the key and make sure everything starts just fine and we don't have any issues. And that's it, started right up. The starter sounds really nice and healthy. It's a little bit more powerful crank than the previous one. Pretty quick and easy job. I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. And of course, I'll get a link in the description where you can pick up a replacement starter for your vehicle, along with some of the other parts and tools used in the video as well. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.